C.S. Lewis once made the comment, "There are far better things ahead than any we leave behind." To embrace the better things ahead, though, requires us actually leaving things behind. I wonder how many opportunities we miss out on because we're unwilling to let go things of the past. Change isn't easy. And yet today it seems that change is like the tsunami that has swept us up and is pushing us along in ways beyond our control. In the mid-90s, the leadership guru Peter Drucker commented on how every few hundred years in Western history, there occurs a sharp transformation. Within a few short decades, society rearranges itself, its worldview, its basic values, its social and political structure, its arts, its key institutions. 50 years later, there is a new world. The people born then cannot even imagine the world in which their grandparents lived and into which their own parents were born. Then he concluded with this: we are currently living in such a transformation. That insight has helped me so much in my understanding of what we're currently experiencing in our world today. With any such transformation, we're going to have to let go of what has been in order to embrace what's emerging. Yet that's not always an easy journey. We have some difficult choices to make. The other day, my eldest son and I were watching Endgame, one of the Marvel Avenger movies, and in it, one of the characters, Thanos, made a profound statement, one of those that just seems to leap out and grab you. As long as there are those that remember what was, there will always be those that are unable to accept what can be. They will resist. It's human nature to resist change. In that space in between, what's known as a liminal space, where a season, an experience, a job, perhaps a relationship has come to an end. A space in which things are changing, but the new hasn't yet been made known. The future still unclear. We often experience an internal wrestle, letting go what was and embracing what's emerging. It's often an uncomfortable place to be. A sense of displacement, disorientation, discomfort, pain even. Perhaps that's why we tend to resist. How we respond in such times is critical to how well we journey. We can remember the past, try to hold on to it and resist the change, thereby getting stuck. Or we can embrace the new possibilities of what lies ahead and continue traipsing on through the uncomfortableness. As we turn to the scriptures, we see the Israelites are faced with their own liminal space in the book of Exodus. God had empowered Moses to lead the Israelites out of slavery in Egypt, and he led them towards the Red Sea. It's here they're camped when they become aware of the Egyptian army pursuing, coming down the hill behind them with the Red Sea before them. There was nowhere to go. They were stuck in this in-between space, somewhat free, yet not completely, and now trapped. As they looked at the Egyptian army coming down the hill, they were terrified. Their response: it would have been better for us to serve the Egyptians than to die in the desert. In a place where they felt trapped, powerless, and possibly abandoned by God, they were looking back to what was known, to a place of safety. It's a common characteristic, preferring the known to the unknown. Even though they were slaves in Egypt, even though they were harshly treated, they were expressing a desire to return to what was known. But Moses saw a different way forward. He trusted that God would make a way. Moses says to the people, "Do not be afraid. Stand firm, and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today. The Egyptians you see today, you will never see again. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still." That's what I want us to hear today in the midst of changing circumstances. In liminal spaces, the Lord will fight for you. You need only be still. In a time of transformational change, perhaps we feel hopeless, abandoned and alone, where everything seems to be on the verge of crashing down around us, when we may have exhausted our own resource to resolve a situation, when we don't seem to be receiving the answers we want and there seems to be no way out or forward, when God himself seems to be distant or absent. Perhaps we've been made redundant and now experiencing financial pressures. We've experienced healing, but we've slipped back into bad patterns of behaviour. We've invested into helping someone else turn their life around, and now they're making decisions which are leading them back to where they were. Perhaps we're facing serious health issues. We've taken a step of faith and it now seems we're in a black hole and God's not shining any light. We look at our lives and we wonder where we went wrong. What choices led to our current situation? We tend to look back and recall better times and we wish we were back there. We've lost hope that our current situation will ever change. There seems to be no way out. God says to us, "Be still. I will fight for you." Don't look back. Avoid the temptation to wish for a return to the good old days or a return to what is familiar or known. God calls us to continue trusting in Him, to believe that our current situation is not the end, no matter how it seems. To believe He's a God who can make a way out of no way, that new possibilities will emerge, even in miraculous ways like the parting of the Red Sea. In this time of transformational change, let's be reminded of the words of God through the prophet Isaiah. This is what the Lord says: "He who made a way through the sea, a path through the mighty waters, who drew out the chariots and horses, the army and reinforcements together, and they lay there, never to rise again, extinguished, snuffed out like a wick. Forget the former things, do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland." May those words give us courage to hope, to be inspired by new possibilities that may begin as a flicker on a match, but over time ignite into something more like an inferno. In liminal spaces, in the waiting, remember that God often is doing a work of healing or restoration or equipping, a transformation going on within us as we continue to trust in Him and wait on Him, irrespective of what's going on around us, preparing us to be the people He needs us to be when the time comes to take hold of the new. And that time will come because our God is a way maker. He makes a way where there is no way. As C.S. Lewis said, there are far better things ahead than any we leave behind. Let's have the courage to embrace that reality as God continues to lead us into those new possibilities.